It's time for another incredible episode of, but you have to work up to it. It's time for another incredible episode of...
No! Time for another incredible episode of... No!
A lovely sit down and a cup of tea with Mama Jones. My mum popped over today to have a catch up. And I thought it would be a good opportunity, because I did promise that I'd do an episode of Ask Ben with your lovely self, to give you guys an opportunity to ask my mom / us any questions that you've been dying to ask us. As usual, I went onto social media and asked you to send in your questions. How do you feel about doing an episode of Ask Ben?
Nervous.
Well, I know people have seen bits of you, you've popped up in places, so I think you've become a bit of a figure of curiosity.
Oh, not anymore.
No, we're shattering the illusion. Earlier tonight we logged on to the live chat to say a quick hello to some of you and ask for any last minute questions, and you threw up a few which we're going to answer now. Have you ever sung before or done any musical work before?
No, never. I think it would rain from now into eternity.
And that ties in with another question that came in, whether you would consider singing on a song or doing a duet or singing with me.
I would if I could sing.
See, I knew the answer to that. I must have got my musical mentality from you, I think. Maybe my creative from your mom?
Your nan and granddad.
Because granddad definitely had the entrepreneur. He was a carpenter.
Pattern maker.
And he had his own business, didn't he?
Yes.
I definitely feel like I inherited that mindset. So for the longest time I was never built to fit in. And Nan...
She liked to read poetry.
I always remember listening to music with her when I went over to visit.
Music's always been in the family. Yes.
And then when you were a child... Because this is a cute story. Well, you were obsessed with music is what you told me.
I used to love music. Used to drive my mom insane with my loud music. Reel-to-reel tapes.
Reel-to-reel deck.
It's about that big. He used to go everywhere with me. In the car, wherever I went, I had my tape recorder with me.
Like a mini suitcase with headphones plugged into the side. Caitlin asked what your reaction to the ziplining was, because I know I spoke about it quite a lot. And my reaction on the video, tell everybody how you felt about it.
Oh, nervous to begin with, but once we got there the adrenaline was going and it was amazing.
Which did you find worse, I say, in terms of like scare factor? Because I found the treetop one afterwards so much more scary, because I said on the video, at least on the zip line, you're strapped in and you're there for the ride, and that's essentially it. Whereas the treetop one, you're up there by yourself and it's up to you to make sure that you're safely clipped on and you don't fall and kill yourself.
It was very nerve-wracking, but you soon got into it. Once we'd done a few zips and you got used to putting the zip on and off, you have to get over that fear of letting yourself go out the tree.
Yeah, I mean the platforms at times they were like that wide, and you're like way up in these trees and you're literally leaping from tree to tree. That's what took me the longest to adjust to.
Like the monkeys in the jungle.
Two little ginger monkeys.
But it was really, really good fun. I'd recommend it to anybody.
Yeah, definitely. I would do it again.
Yeah, I'd still do that one again as well.
So someone else on the live chat asked what your favourite album of mine was, and I know someone else asked about favourite song, which we'll get to in a second, but favourite album is probably an easier question.
It isn't, because they're all so awesome.
Yes. There's no bias here.
No, not really.
Gun to your head if you had to pick one.
I really like Defying Gravity, but the new album coming out, I think you'll all be amazed with.
Plug, plug, plug!
Yeah, wait and see.
I've trained her well. There is actually a gun in the back of this sofa, and she's here against her will. Richard asked, did I get grounded a lot when I was a kid?
No, not thinking back, you were quite a good little boy.
I was actually quite a boring kid, I think. In terms of misbehaving and whatnot, because I don't remember getting into that much trouble at school either.
No, I don't think you did. I think you were a good little boy.
I'm so boring.
I wouldn't have said that gone that far.
Celeste asks, what's the nicest thing I've done for you?
I think going zip wiring is got to be on one top of the list.
Yeah, but that was a joint thing.
Yeah, it was, but it was still a good thing. And going to Japan, that was awesome.
Because Mom came with me the very first time I went to Japan, and obviously that was quite a monumental trip because it was at that time Final Night had just charted, and I was doing radio and TV promo for the album. It was nice that you got to see that, even though I did a lot more of that after that trip.
Yeah.
But at least then, you seeing it from the start, you knew what I was doing whenever I was going over there, I guess.
Yeah, that was really cool.
This kind of ties into what we've just been talking about. Does my mom know, or do you know, Japanese as well, or is that just me?
I know the odd 1 or 2 words, but no, I can't speak Japanese.
I was going to say, the first time I went out there, and I'd already started learning Japanese, and that kind of intensified after I signed the deal for the album. And I remember in that time, there were little post-its around my mom's house, and so there was like one on the T that said, "Watcha."
Bunnies. Usagis.
Usagi!
Yeah, Usagi, I remember that one.
Usagi kawaii! Filippo Manfredi! I have to say this every time because he's got the coolest name in the world. Filippo Manfredi says, on a scale of 1 to 10, how would I rate my mom?
Oh dear. The gun's in his back now.
I praise my mom all the time. It's hard to do when she's sitting next to me though, so. Yes, I have the best mom. So Meredith asks, are you a lover of adrenaline, or was that my influence?
Well, I think it's the other way around.
Yeah.
I've always been an
That's where I get it from!
adrenaline seeker. From skin diving to rallying to ice skating, yeah. I do love the adventures.
Martial arts.
Martial arts. I did start off with karate, went into kung fu, and I ended up with Aikido. Black belt Aikido. So
yeah. Don't mess with this woman.
Next one, parachute jump.
Yes, we want to do a skydive and a parachute jump next year, don't we?
So next year we're jumping out of a plane, not off a cliff.
Watch this space. Reese asks, what is the proudest moment that you remember of me?
One that sticks out is mainly when we did the World Dance Championships.
Yes.
That was amazing. The Winter Gardens in Blackpool, very famous for ballroom and dance, and I was so proud of him.
Where did I place?
He came second.
In the world!
Another one is when we went to Japan, and so just to walk into EMI and see you there, and on Japanese TV as well. It was amazing.
Ben simply asks, what was I like as a kid? Like this, really?
Smaller version.
But just as loud.
He's still very creative even at a younger age. He wasn't a troublesome child.
But I'm a troublesome adult. I mentioned that you love to bake, so what are the favourite foods that you like to cook?
I used to like to entertain. When we had the family together at Christmas, special occasions, I used to love to entertain. But I suppose my passion would be cakes.
Well, amongst the many things that you've done, you were a professional caterer at one point.
Yes, I did go into catering when you were younger.
And wasn't that your own business?
Yes, it was but my passion is still cakes. I do like to decorate cakes. Hence the birthday cakes you have every year.
I go through phases, especially when it comes to the build-up of an album, photo shoots, especially if it's going to be like topless or swimwear. So I will go through a phase of intense training and very, very strict dieting. Unfortunately, that's often around my birthday, because it's pretty much a tradition now that you make birthday cakes for all of our birthdays.
You've had a birthday cake every year of your life.
All of us have,
yes.
Not just me.
Yeah.
Rather than break this tradition, because in the past you've even made me low-fat protein birthday cakes.
I had to go
which were amazing. This time I suggested a cupcake, didn't I?
Yes, little cupcake.
That was the mistake I made. I didn't say little, I just said cupcake. And then you rock up on my birthday with this giant-sized cupcake, which is like this. Then people wonder where my stubborn streak comes from. Tradition is important. God damn it.
And he asked for one single cupcake this year, and he got one single cupcake.
This year I thought I'd learn, and I said I want a single normal-sized cupcake, and you completely bended the rules, didn't you?
I did, yes. I put a cupcake on top of a cake.
I got a cupcake and a normal-sized cake.
Yeah.
I Can't win.
No,
Can't win. Shugo asks, what was I like in my early school years?
You're quite creative. You used to love drawing, writing short stories even when you were younger.
But in your memory, at what point did I start moving towards music? Because I do remember there was a point where it was like, bam, I was listening to lots of music all the time.
Say it was in your early teens. Yeah, that's when all the music started appearing in the house.
My CD collection.
It grew.
About halfway through school, I think my CD collection was like 350. It was insane.
It's still insane.
It's in your attic somewhere.
I've still got them at home.
Including my first ever CD, which was the Lion King soundtrack.
Oh.
So formal. Dear Mama Jones, what were your thoughts when I started making music for a living?
It was quite worrying, really. Yes, I think it's a worrying time when you go independently and want to do something on your own rather than go conform to a job where you've got a regular income. But at the end of the day, I think every parent just wants their child to be happy.
Because I feel like I come from a family of grafters. So everyone in my family works really hard, and I remember you and Dad always being hard workers, and all of my grandparents really, from what I've been told.
They were.
Having jobs like carpenter, office manager, personnel manager, electrician, IT engineer. So I've said many times I feel like I'm a little bit of the black sheep of the family, because I was the one that was just like, I don't want to do any of that, I want to be a musician.
Rebel of the family.
You and Dad actually were always very supportive of me doing music, but we did have lots of chats, because any job in a creative industry, even when you have income, it's very rare that it's regular income. That is a worry for many parents, I'd imagine.
It is, not having that regular income. It is a worrying time, but you know, you've come through it and look where you are now.
Yeah! I've always been good at saving. I think that's a must for any musician. You have to learn how to manage your money.
Yes, that is a must. Yeah.
And luckily I was taught well. Sada asks, what were your thoughts when I started to do music for video games and progressed to be the musician that I am today? From really early on, I got involved in so many things, like remixing, doing my own work, writing for other people as well.
Yes.
And I've been doing all that for quite a while before I moved into soundtracks.
You do a lot of things really well as well.
So I think you might have been desensitized to some of it by that point. He's just doing something else now.
Just another feather to his cap. Still a proud moment. Yeah, I was pleased.
Lucho asks, has your life changed being the mother of a superstar?
No. Take me to all in your stride, as you say, and yeah, it hasn't changed my life.
I think it helped that I started off working behind the scenes as a producer and in the studio.
It's not all the glamour that people think it is. It's hard work.
Especially having most of my success abroad, it's been really easy to just have nothing change here. What was it like to be a rally driver?
It was intense. When you're driving at high speeds down country lanes, the concentration, you have to concentrate every second, so it's very tiring as well.
Mentally and physically.
Yeah, mentally and physically. But yeah, you can come out of the car and you're absolutely drained, but it was awesome. Yeah, I'd certainly do it again. Although I don't think my reactions are quite as quick now.
But your driving still is. For those of you who don't know, my mom was one of the first female rally drivers in the UK, and you drove for Fiat.
Yes.
How did it feel being a pioneer for women all over the country?
I was very young, so I didn't see it as that. So yeah, to me it was just an adventure.
Ricky asked, out of all of my music, which song do you like the most? Now this is a hard one.
It is a very hard one. There are so many out there that I really like.
And they're all amazing.
Yeah, they are all amazing. One that really stands out, I suppose, is the one that started it all off, is Final Nights. Being in Japan when it was released, that was amazing. And the new album, of course.
Of course. Plug, plug, plug.
Yes.
Right, that's about it for this special edition of Ask Ben. Thank you for coming over and have a cup of tea.
You're welcome.
Let's have a hug. Thank you for sending your questions in. I'll do another Ask Ben very, very soon. Make sure you keep sending your questions on social media. Use the hashtag AskBen. Click the subscribe button to stay up to date with my music and all of this madness. Stalk me on social media, and I will see you all very, very soon. Goodbye.
Bye.